If there's one topic that I'm most passionate about, it is purpose. I find that the meaning of the word is so underdeveloped, especially in its application to our lives. We know why we have cell phones. We know why we buy cars. We know why we have jobs. But our knowledge of why we exist remains so badly underdeveloped. My friend Deboho asked this question: what is your purpose? Are you expressing that purpose unto humanity? If you've been struggling with this question, today, let there be light. Hi, I'm Tumelo, and in my short life as a coach, I've come to discover that there are 3 quick, practical ways of establishing what your purpose is. We'll get to that just now, but for now, I want us to agree on the definition of this word, purpose. Dictionary.com says it is the reason for which something exists. And Merriam-Webster gives us this example: the purpose of this resort is to attract more tourists. In the context of this video, the question is, why do I exist? What am I meant to achieve in my lifetime? In my life coach training, my trainer, Colleen Joy, gave us this example. She calls it the apple tree philosophy. If you think about an apple tree, what does it look like? It is this tree, shrubby, green leaves. I want you to now think about what that tree looks like in winter. You'd probably say you see just twigs, no leaves, almost dry looking. Now think about that tree in spring. What do you see? You see the life of new, small, green, budding leaves, little flowers beginning to blossom, the smell of pollen, bees flying around, pollinating amongst the other trees in the garden. Now think about that tree in summer. You think about this big, massive, green, lush tree that has beautiful, sweet-looking fruits of apples. Now think about that same tree in autumn. The tree is probably starting to look sorry again, and the leaves are starting to go yellow and brown, and they're starting to fall off as the wind blows. Through that whole time, this tree remains an apple tree. Whether there are leaves on it, or snow on it, or it's being blown by the wind, or dust is sitting on it, it remains an apple tree. It is not dependent on whether it produces apples or not. That determines whether this tree is called an apple tree or not, right? So it is not the apples that determines what the apple tree is. It is the apple tree being and remaining in its true identity, that when the time is right, it manifests apples according to its truth and identity. Simply put, our doing should not determine our being. It is who we are that should determine what we do. When we begin to stand in our truth and start to flow in the natural order of who we are, we will then begin to produce fruit, which would be what we do. So you're not a lawyer, you're not an accountant, you are not a filmmaker. It is because of who you are and remaining in what you are that when the time is right, you begin to produce law, you begin to do numbers, and you begin to do films. Here are 3 practical ways that can help you identify your purpose. Number 1, your personality type. See, what personality type tests do is they help us figure out what our inclinations are. There's this particular test that I'm a massive fan of. You probably heard me in the previous video talk about me being an Enneagram type 7. What the Enneagram does is help us understand what our motivators are. Why do we do the things we do? And on top of that, if you know your Enneagram, you would know that it will reveal your stress point and your secure point. It'll show you what you tend to do in spaces where you feel stressed, frustrated, and what you tend to do when you feel secure and unthreatened. I've found that the Enneagram is a big telltale sign of what our purpose could be. Let me give you an example. So my wife is an Enneagram type 2, and this one day we go to a discam to go and get vaccinated. As we're standing in the queue there, filling in the forms, there are these 2 teenage-looking kids standing in the background there, filling in their forms, and one of them starts telling the other one that, listen, I think I'm scared. I don't think I want to do this anymore. After a few minutes, they seem to convince each other, they drop off the forms and they whisk off. My wife was so upset at them. So upset that they had not been responsible for their own lives. If she could, she would have went, grabbed them, and dragged them back into the queue and made them vaccinate. If you know what people who are Enneagram type 2s tend to do, is sometimes their love comes off as quite interfering. And there she was, acting out naturally according to her personality type. Let me give you another example. I have this other friend who, wherever she is, she finds herself producing, she finds herself organizing parties, organizing baby showers. She kind of organized my wedding and another friend's wedding and another friend's wedding, and I'm pretty sure next time the last friend we have who is not married gets married, she will be organizing that wedding too. So that was personality. And number 2, I want us to do a quick coaching exercise. I want you to grab your phone right now and feel free to pause. Grab your phone and text 5 people you know and ask them, if you were to describe me, what are the 5 words that you would use? Go ahead, text them and let's see what they say. Other people's perception of us is such a beautiful mirror into our being. So look at what responses you get and tell me, what are the common themes that are emerging in who you are based on other people's perception? Take note of these keywords and contrast them to your Enneagram type. You will see a pattern beginning to emerge. Let's do one more exercise. Now, right where you're sitting, I want you to just relax. If it's convenient for you, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to take a deep breath and just begin to settle into your body. Feel every inch of your body. Feel the breath rush in and out through your nose. Feel if there's an ache. Feel if there's some goodness in your body and just acknowledge it. I want you now to think to yourself, what would you be if you were not afraid? If all your financial needs, if all your responsibilities, if every single thing you need to take care of is completely taken care of, who would you be? Think about what kind of roles would you gravitate towards in society? What kind of relationships would you attract or be attracted to? These little answers that emerge in these exercises, brought together, begin to reveal our unique design as human beings. What we should be in life. Our apple trees. And we need to cultivate the habit of continuously spending time doing these exercises and excavating what our purpose is, because purpose is not a destination. It is a journey. We will always be in a process of discovering ourselves throughout our lives. So from these 3 exercises, what patterns have emerged for you? Please let me know in the comment section below. From doing these exercises repeatedly with my wife, she's come to a place where she's established that her pattern emerges in these themes: nurturing and caring. So she has now taken this self-knowledge and she has gone on to start her own doula practice, taking care of pregnant women who are about to give birth and those who have just given birth. Here's her Instagram link. Check it out, and if you need help, feel free to contact her. Here's my Enneagram type. I'm an Enneagram type 7. And type 7s love their autonomy. They don't want to be micromanaged. And they never want to feel stuck in anything that they do. That is why I struggled with employment. I felt claustrophobic. I felt stuck. I felt owned. Here's an example. This one time when I was still dating my now wife, she would come from Botswana on a bus. And say on a Monday, I would have to drop her off at the bus station before she leaves. But I remember times when I was so hard pressed at work that I couldn't even leave to drive from Randburg to Park Station to drop her off. That completely shattered me. It really made me feel like I was on a leash. So I have a very strong need to always feel free. I've discovered that my being is freedom. I want to be free of debt. I want to be free of a boss. I want to be free to be able to take my then fiance to the bus station when I need to. This freedom that I want is the same freedom that I give to the world as my fruits from my apple tree. So for me, freedom is my being, and it is from a place of freedom that I'm able to grow my apple tree and produce more and more fruits for the world to benefit. If you feel stuck and you need to break free, please drop me a DM on Instagram and let's book your coaching session. Listen to this. If the whole body were an eye, where would the hearing be? If the whole body were an ear, where would the sense of smell be? We all need each other. We all have a very unique function and purpose to play in life, and we're uniquely designed to fill those roles naturally. I need you to be yourself for this world to be a better place. We are made uniquely to be the light that this world needs. So let's shine bright, Bafwit. If you found value in this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you can get notified when I make another video such as this. If you want to know how I'm claiming my freedom from my lenders, click on this video here, and I will see you there.